Welcome to the Tourism Hub podcast, a podcast devoted to you and your excellence, providing inspiration and education for the entrepreneurs, experience makers and excellence seekers of our industry to take your tourism business and career to a whole new level.
Relax.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tourism Hub podcast. Now, today we are coming to you not from a tourism destination, but a hub of small businesses in Victoria here at Brentford Shopping Centre or District, and a leading ambassador of small business in this patch, Eyewear Architects. Welcome, Mel. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. Now, I met Mel and Penny. They were a burst of energy that came onto the Business Victoria small business bus a few months ago.
Yes.
Very excited, and they made me excited. And it's like, how can we just bring more of your story to our networks? And, you know, it's not traditional, but there's a lot of synergy here when we're talking about tourism, when we're talking about small business, vision, both vision in business, but the importance of vision biologically. And going through my own journey and what led me from meeting them, and I've been putting off getting my eyes checked, and here we are, and I found my people. It's like, I want you to take care of my eyes and what's happening to my eyesight. I always
to all of us.
I think it's just the morning, and then it's like, it's carried on through the day. The phone, just yesterday, I was at a conference and I looked at the back of the tag for the program, and I'm going back in the lanyard and I'm almost pulling myself to find it. But look, we've got a lot to talk about because this is, so welcome everybody, welcome to you. We're going to start with just the essence of your work and where you've spent your lifetime, you know, majority of your lifetime, particularly with you, Mel. I'll start with you, your journey in, I guess to start with, what was your journey or your aha moment that this is the career I'm going to pursue to help and support people with their vision impairments and vision challenges?
Yes.
And, and then leading us to Eyewear Architects.
Oh, well, I started quite young, so I was only 18 when I came into the optical industry, and I'm 52 now. It's been a really enjoyable journey, and I'm incredibly passionate about independent optometry, hence small business, because independent optometry is almost like a whole different ballgame to corporate optometry. I'm a qualified spectacle maker, and that is quite rare, and so is Penny. Our industry out the front of house, so what we would call our dispensary as opposed to our optometry room. Our dispensary is usually run by a dispenser or someone with some knowledge on lenses, but Penny and I are old school spectacle makers, which means we can do optical fitting and surfacing. We went through RMIT. I did 5 years at RMIT. At the moment, that qualification doesn't exist. I think possibly through deregulation, so you don't have to be qualified to work out at the front dispensary in an optometry practice anymore, which I think is a little bit heartbreaking. There has been a little bit of a dumbing down of what we do, and that is where we're different to anywhere else you'll go. You come in and you're seeing people that are really knowledgeable and have a real depth of knowledge, so we're able to tick the boxes of your needs, and everyone has unique needs. And I know you're saying you're pushing the lanyard away, and that happens to us all, and Penny and I are in that age bracket as well. But with the digital world we're living in now, you know, you've got triple screens, double screens, you're doing podcasts, which are amazing, so your visual needs are quite different than just a pair of readers. And that's where Penny and I shine, because we have that old school knowledge and an old craft where we really understand the intricacies of your needs and the lenses that match them. I think that's probably where I come into it. I really love all the nerdy optics and physics and mathematics of what we do. I'm probably a little bit that way inclined, and Penny is absolutely the vision. I mean, look at her green glasses.
the way you complement each other in a partnership and your skills, it's just delightful. From the minute I met you, from the minute you came onto my bus. We really
do.
Incredible.
I see that, and everybody comments on it, and we pretty much the yin yang of each other. And I think if you are in small business, you know, to find somebody that shares your passion, because we are both passionate about independent optometry and helping the wider community, but also that complements your skill set. So, you know, we're so different in the way that we approach things, but it just knits so well together. And I think that's why we work.
Yeah. And did you meet at uni together? Was your journey the same?
No,
mine.
I was late 90s when I did mine.
Yeah.
And then we worked together, I must have been mid-2000s, maybe early 2000s at an independent optometry practice. Mel started having children. We've both got 3 children each. So over the, 25 years or so, we've kind of been 20 years that we've known each other. We've worked together on and off, but we've always known that we were meant to do something together.
Yeah,
we've always known that. We've always said that the whole time. And then, of course, COVID hit and we're in different situations. Mel was working in practice. I was repping for a business for frames. And I guess I came to a point where I was missing my kids, travelling a lot. And I wanted to stay in independent optometry, but I was frustrated to think that I'd have to go work for someone else because I wanted to work for me and I wanted to do something for myself. And Mel was kind of, I presume, came to the same point. And then I don't know how we did it. We just pulled everything together and found what was right for us. And I don't think I would ever go back. Never.
No.
We're very happy. We just laugh all the time, sometimes a little bit too much. And we just enjoy what we do. We love meeting people. We love to know their story. And that's really important when we are dispensing their story because we need to know what they do for work, all that kind of stuff. So we get to know our patients really well. So
we form very strong connections with our patients and what Penny's saying about asking about their story and their life, that's called lifestyle dispensing. And when you're lifestyle dispensing and we're asking you about your hobbies and things, that means that we can meet your visual needs so much better. Because if we don't have those discussions with you, you could end up with the wrong pair of glasses that doesn't work well. Like somebody that does a lot of driving, that we can give them a lens with a big distance area. And I think we've made a couple of pairs of glasses recently for a gentleman who just bought a Tesla. They've got a big screen in the middle, haven't they? The Teslas have got this big
the new
screen.
cars are always changing.
Huge television.
And
that's a really unique distance to correct. So we had to find the right lens that's going to give him that broad distance area, but also make that screen nice and clear as well. So it's those discussions that help us get your glasses right, but it also helps us build a relationship with our patients. And one thing with a small business like us is that when you come back in a couple of years or for your next checkup, you see Mel and Penny again.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I didn't even think that was a term, and everybody can relate from a lifestyle dispense.
Yes,
very important.
And your customer journey in the same way, whether it's, you're giving a patient experience that they wouldn't otherwise have elsewhere. And now for myself, and that's what I had shared with you when we first met, I knew I had an issue, but it's just like any business, whatever industry we're in, we talk about the visitor experience, customer experience. What I had in my previous, I went in, but I didn't follow through. Life got busy. A year passed very quickly before I got a letter in the mail to say you're due for your next checkup, but I actually didn't follow through with getting the lens.
Sure.
But your journey of coming here and the care factor to even ask and customise what you did for me, that I do train a lot in front of screens. I'm always delivering, whether it's training or meetings in front of, and taking that into consideration. Automatically there's a difference there of care factor.
Absolutely.
Of care factor that will keep everyone returning. Now, we mentioned back on that starting point of starting a business. You have an idea and you've made that call. I'm at this phase of my life that I don't want to work for anyone else.
Yeah, that's what I was like, certainly.
And our children were a little bit older.
And lifestyle,
yeah.
Look, a lot of people are at that journey. You don't know when you're going to get hit with that. Like, I need a change.
No.
So with that in mind, your moment, going back to that moment that we're going to both hold our hands and jump,
Yes,
burn
it
the
was
boat.
huge. It was huge because we've got families.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
it was
families,
a
there's
huge change.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Going back to there, what was the biggest thing that was holding you back that you didn't do it sooner?
My kids, my youngest has just started high school. So they were still a little bit young, and I think that's what was... And, well, they were still a little bit young, but also I didn't feel ready, and I think that I needed to know more about the industry. I worked in a corporate business when I started, and then I've done independent optometry. So for me, I guess being a sales rep and going into all the different businesses, independent practices, and learning from them really came back, and I thought, I can do this.
Yeah.
I've got the knowledge. I know who I'd love to do it with.
Yeah.
And it just came to a point
So your
where we thought,
research validating the idea, you've had years of that because from the experience. I think a lot of businesses that go into that demographic of not making it past their first year miss that bit.
Yeah.
So you had inherently already done that when you're at that point. You're like, no, I can go in this with confidence because I've seen...
Lots of things from all the optometrists and all the business owners that I've met in different states, South Australia, Victoria, and also Tasmania. You get to know them more. You see them every couple of months and talking to them, and they tell you things, and and just the independent industry altogether. Like, it's a very small industry.
There's a huge depth of knowledge there that Penny's trying to sort of allude to. She's worked in repping. We've repped for the optical industry across different fields. So that means that we have met every practice in Victoria and every practice in Tasmania. So we've seen all the small business practices and optometry practices within those two states. So that gives you a really broad understanding of our industry as a whole. And we've both done that a couple of times, and we have come out of corporate into independent. We've worked in independent optometry for somebody else, but we've also, with having that rep background and meeting and getting to know and forming relationships with all of those other business owners, gave us a really good understanding of the business as a whole. So I think that set us up for success. I think if you're going to start a small business, it really should be in an area where you know it well. Yeah. This is my jam. I'm really confident at what I do, and nobody knows more about this than I do. And I think that set us up well. We knew we could do this. We knew this was our thing. But we've had to approach it quite differently, because I think to start a new business now, in the times that we're in, it's not enough to just know your business. You have to know your industry. You have to set yourself apart. You have to be a little bit different. And, I think Penny said to me somewhere around the beginning, I remember, I think when we were, yes, we know lenses, yes, we know frames really well, but what's this Google business? And
so much to learn.
Oh, look at all these new social media platforms. We're not young. They're foreign to us. So huge, steep learning curve. But Penny has this amazing attitude of fake it till you make it.
Oh.
And you know what? When you're faking it till you make it at the start, you're learning. And suddenly, you become quite adept at those things as well. So we jumped into those, not knowing a huge amount, faking it till we make it. And then all of a sudden we realised that we were making it. But we did things a little bit differently. We tried to be creative in our approach, and we certainly had a little bit of fun with socials. And optometry is quite a conservative. We're healthcare providers, and that is what we will always be. But certainly if you hopped on our Facebook or our Instagram or our TikTok, we have a bit of light-hearted fun, and there's a little bit of comedy there. And I think that has stood us in good stead, because that has set us apart as wow, look at those ladies. And I've noticed that a lot of other small independent optometry businesses are following us on social media, because we have got what I would call a fresh approach.
Yes.
We're tackling it a little bit differently. We're putting ourselves out there. And I think that was key as well, being Penny and Mel.
Yeah.
And being real.
Yes.
And
that's difficult to do. It's difficult to get in front of a camera all the time and speak, and just seeing yourself on camera, that's really makes you quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's hard to get around, but you just got to do it. You just got to jump in and do it
beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh, look, but I can relate. I remember at the start when there's no one there to press the play button, I'll go, come on, Despina, you can do it. I would always go, if not you, then who? Yeah. If not now, then when? And I say that to businesses all the time, because you find yourself suddenly the buck literally stops with you. So if we want to supply our community, we have to also create demand and put ourselves out there. And what I love about the fun and authenticity that comes across, what you see, number one, is what you get. You're not getting a different Mel and Penny when you meet you in person to what's online. But I also love how you're really using these channels and networks. They're organic, they're free, you're building a community, but it's also a great way that you're using it to educate the importance. Like I will always, I think of you and that TikTok you did about the funk that can grow under your eyelids. Like if you don't take your makeup off. And it's the same with, now with daughters and having that, getting really into it, just having that good habits of practice of taking your stuff off.
Yes, take your makeup off.
Take your makeup off.
Very important.
Oh, very important. But that's what it's about. It's about edutainment or edu-marketing.
Oh, I like
as
it.
Much edutainment. Boom. It is. It's you're educating, but you're also creating really engaging, entertaining content, which is excellent.
When we are creating the content, we do tend to not overthink it. I think that's really important.
Yes.
If you stage it too much, you don't come across naturally. So we just kind of jump in. Like usually it's the first, maybe second take, and that's it. We just go for it. So I think that's really important.
And that was a great example. We're on the bus. I'm having another session with another business, and I just hear like hysterics behind the bus. They've just seized the moment and did a Venga bus is coming. Like it was just, but this, I think that's also like we talked extensively about the importance of a strategy, but seizing moments where you just feel it, getting it in the can and just go for it is just as important. Now, coming back to industry, now we are all a little bit like in the tourism industry, we just think we support small business in a different way, just like you saw the program from Business Victoria to put out mentoring and training. As an industry, we do that, and we have a lot of businesses that not necessarily, they could be optometrists all their lives or accountants, but then come into business to open a bread and breakfast or a winery or something, a passion project because they love to travel. It's something that they've always wanted to do. How does that work? Because I think it's really interesting when I speak to a lot of businesses in tourism or visitor economy, tourism, hospitality events, there's so much available to them to support and champion. Is that the same landscape nationally through your associations?
Wow. No.
Probably not. No. I mean, there's
a couple of
it's
groups.
quite divided.
Yes.
So you've got your Optometrist Association. There is a dispensing association which does try and help train dispensers and give them some kind of knowledge when they're working in this kind of space.
There's also some groupings as well. So like you have your IGA supermarkets.
Yes.
There are a lot of optometrists that join buying groups. There's Provision is a really big one.
Yes.
So that's for optometrist-owned practices, and they can link together, join and become a Provision member.
Yes.
And then under that Provision banner, which works similar to IGA independent supermarkets, but obviously healthcare,
Yes.
they provide training, support with marketing. They might have marketing experts. They have buying power, so you might get a little bit of a discount when you're buying a frame.
Yes.
Because as an independent business,
It's like a franchise kind of model, sort of.
No,
No
really
different.
franchise.
more just becoming a member, and then
okay.
your membership, within that membership, it offers you support in
Guidance.
Okay.
and guidance
Yeah.
and buying power.
Yeah.
As in a discount. So I'd say that's probably, we're not a member of
We're
that.
a member of Benefit,
but
which
iBenefit,
is
a smaller
Yeah.
one.
it's smaller and there's not as many rules. Like if you want their help, they'll help you.
Yes. Look, I highlight that because I think any other industry specific businesses, when you're part of an industry, looking at your associations or the lay of the land of the industry that you're in, and seek out what is the right membership model that's for me. Like I know in our industry in particular, it's abundant, I feel. Like, yes, we have our challenges, but I think for small businesses, it's important to know that that's not necessarily the case everywhere. If I speak to, if we just go to the bakery across the road, how are they supported? Are they part of an association for bakers? Unless they're a baker's delight, perhaps, how to market and get them to the Brentford Shopping Centre.
Oh, fantastic.
Right, so it's just like going beyond what industry you're in. Now, what I also sensed, and the way that your local MP spoke so highly of you, that we met. Love John, and John loves you, but it's just another layer I want to bring anybody that's listening.
That's very valuable.
Valuable,
yes. I cannot stress how valuable integrating into your community is.
Yes.
You have to put yourself
Number
out
one.
there. It's not enough just to open a door
Yes.
and wait for people to come. You have to integrate yourself into your local and wider community, and that's something that we've worked really hard on. So we actually joined a Women of White Horse social and business group.
That's been great.
And that has been fantastic.
Really great,
So that's run by a lady called Jennifer, and we meet up for lunches, or they might have a little event where you might go and learn about someone else's business. Penny here is the president of the Brentford Square Association.
Oh, go Penny.
Yes, and
Yeah.
President Penny.
So good, yeah.
And she's brilliant. And she takes her fresh approach to everything
Yes.
here into that as well, and she genuinely cares. So that's all volunteer based. You know, when you are dealing with an association like a little shopping strip, and little shopping strips, they do have their battles compared to the bigger shopping centres, but you don't think behind the scenes that there's a little association with volunteers trying hard to connect with their community. So we run Easter events.
We had a big Christmas market last year, which was great.
That was
Yeah,
fabulous.
brilliant. Yeah.
It was so lovely, and really
Seeing
brought local
the
families
children
out.
so happy and just,
Yes.
it was a really great
John,
community event.
Our local MP, John, is fantastic, I have to say. He came in last year?
Last year.
And absolutely
Stepped in and engaged with all the small businesses.
everybody.
Yeah.
Every
in
store,
the square.
every shop, stops and talks to people. I don't think he ever stops, but we thought, wow, what a dynamic mover. Really generous with his time, wanted to know about your business. So, of course, that was great to us because we wanted to connect with our local MP, and we wanted to learn and be able to ask questions. Hey, what do you think about this? And how could we do this? Because you've got to learn from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and White Horse Business Groups has been fantastic as
Absolutely,
well.
yeah.
So we joined that very early on.
We
That's
did.
our local council, and they have a group to help small businesses. And
All sorts of small businesses.
you've just got to find it.
You've got to find it. And I think I hope anybody that's watching or listening can take away from that wherever, because, a lot of regions around the country, around the world, that are smaller, eclectic communities, there's always a shire or a council, an economic development, a local MP that you could go and make the effort to go and introduce yourself outside of what's happening with your regional tourism organisation or your state tourism organisation, that also in the same way that you're experiencing. So there's a lot of synergy there, but I thought that was an important one because I talk a lot about destination ambassadorship, but you're essentially doing the same thing with this patch of where you are as a community ambassador, and other people see that and say, well, they're achieving, success leaves clues because they're also contributing and putting in and giving back. So good. Now, the journey, like having this vision for your business. Now we're into what year? Are you?
3.
Year 3. Incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And working together. What have you found even in building a team, like looking for the right humans that are going to fit into your culture?
That's
Everything.
Number
That's
one.
everything as well.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like if we can talk about that, because it's whether, in early parts, how did you find, because that would have been a new experience now as you're the boss.
It was.
So
Yeah.
we had to hire an optometrist, obviously, for our business. And being a new business, being a small industry, it's not easy finding someone that wants to walk into a new business because obviously they're not going to be as busy as...
There's a risk there.
Yeah, there's a
You're
risk for them.
unknown.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was... We've learnt a lot, I think, going through that journey. And we did have a first optometrist left on maternity leave, and then we... it happened at the right time because we met this amazing new optometrist who just fitted in so well, and we just adore her.
Yeah.
You have to know who you
So,
are
Yeah.
and what you want to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then attract the right people
Yeah.
that have the same vision as you do, that want to practice in the same manner. And we're all about high-level care. So anyone that we brought in, that had to be at the forefront of what they wanted as well, that they cared, that high-level care was important to them, that we take the time with our patients to get it right and to form those relationships and to do it well. We do have a fantastic team now, and we're very, very blessed. I think we all really enjoy working together, and we all very like-minded and love what we do, and it's a real pleasure to come to work. But I would say that you need to invest in your people and value them.
Yes, value them.
You really need to value them and look after good staff because they're hard to find, the right people. And if you get the right people, look after them well so that they stay for the long term.
Yeah.
Because you really do become a bit of a work family.
Yes.
That's what I feel like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big difference to everyone's experience. Yours as owners, and also it translates to the end result of like how a customer is walking out of Eyewear Architects.
Absolutely.
Now, when it comes to challenges and learnings,
There's been a lot of
them.
learning.
a dear colleague, Paul Matthews, if he's listening, he said, "You're either fail or if you're failing or you're learning, and that's called a flern."
I love it.
We've
had a
nice
few
new
words.
Loving it.
Yeah, we have
write them down.
Flern.
I think we might have had a few.
Yeah, I loved it too. It's a flern. We've
had a few flirns.
I don't think we'll ever stop flirning.
No,
to be honest.
we're flirning all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Hashtag flirn. Yeah. So if you could think, is there anything that comes to mind in the journey so far of what's been a great
For me, it's marketing.
Marketing,
That's been a big... Mel here is probably a big part of... we call her the ideas woman.
Yeah.
And I'm the doer. So I pull everything together.
Yes.
And usually what you see in our marketing and our posters, and that's usually something that I've put together.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that, and that has been a huge learning curve. And if you look way back from the start, you can see it progressing. Yeah. And that's just learning what software's working best, and that's been huge for me.
That's new
huge.
to us.
That's completely new.
And that's also part of that yin and yang, because I see you enjoy it. Like you're drawing on your natural strengths.
Yes.
We know each other's strengths.
You know, because you'll say she can, Mel, like she's the one for that. She can just roll with it. You just need to give her a quick brief and boom, you've got it.
Yeah.
But then I get the sense you've been enjoying discovering the software or the tools, how you can practically do things. Any of those that you could share with us gold nugget tools that you can't live without now?
Canva.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't start with Canva. I started with something else. I can't even remember what it is. No. I do use CapCut a little bit for TikToks.
Yeah.
But Canva's been fantastic. And I believe it's an Australian
It's an
woman.
Australian incredible story
young
that's
lady.
dominated
That's
the
huge.
world.
And
like billions.
And it just, everything is so easy and user-friendly. And, I mean, you can use their templates or you can, change their templates or you can start from scratch. It's my world, Canva.
So marketing's been the greatest learning or journey for you, that you've built this whole new skill set through this journey. But that's the beauty of small business, of just starting out on your own. You just have to.
You just have to dive in.
Right?
I mean, there was all the initial things like getting to know Medicare and all the background business things.
Google
we did it. Google Business, stepped into that. That was
big, hard at the start.
And there's things that we learn as soon as we have someone in or we're talking to someone that's kind of in the marketing industry. We're asking them questions and they're giving us ideas. And
I think we learnt the most from you, though.
Yeah, I'd say so.
100%. So if anybody has the opportunity to get the business bus with Despina, I would take that up.
How about you, Mel? It's very. How about you? Any that come to your mind in your journey?
I learned to stay in my lane. And let Penny do her thing. Because what would take Penny 5 minutes would take me 3 hours and it would look terrible.
Trust, right? Especially in a partnership, whether it's any relationship. Because partnerships too, I think I did have that in mind. Just having a good business partner.
Yes.
They're not all good stories either.
No.
In business, but you see, how do you protect this? Like, is that a conversation you needed to have? Is that going too personal?
It's not too personal. We haven't had that conversation, but I have thought about it in my mind, and I think that all comes down to respect.
Yeah.
But I admire Penny.
And knowing your lane as well.
And knowing your lane.
Staying in your lane.
Staying in your lane.
Yeah.
Because
that's a truth bomb in this too. Stay in your lane.
Mel does all the writing on the socials and things like that. And when I try, it's just like one sentence.
Yeah.
So I started using AI chat when she wasn't here because I was lost.
I'm all words, Penny's all vision.
Yeah.
Goes
Put
together
Mel in front of the camera, say, I want you to talk about this, bam.
Yeah.
It's done in one take. It's just how we roll, whereas put me in front of the camera.
Not anymore.
I'm getting used to it. I'm getting better.
We are moving, getting so much better. Look, and again, as your customer going through the journey, it was seamless the way you roll, because it's like, okay, we've done this part now, the scientific part.
Yep.
Then coming to see you, Mel.
Yes.
We came and it's like, you're doing the measurements and like, because you're getting something literally made, custom made for you to your requirements. And then like, I loved the honesty. Penny is just like...
I'm known for it.
But you want that, because I think that's why I procrastinated and I didn't walk out, because there was not... You just want someone to command what's going on here and go, this is for you. And that's what happened that day. We just all worked together to come out with a solution, and it felt great. So that was... Don't go thinking that's not... That's a positive.
I've got quite a reputation for that.
But Penny's very gifted stylist. I think with that, the vision and the marketing, she's a very visual person and she can put things together well. And with that, it comes this amazing eyewear stylist, because Penny is so accurate with finding the right frame to suit your face shape, your colouring. She will know when you walk around the corner and step into our door, she'll look at me and go, Mel, third from the top shelf on the right. And I can tell you now, 95% of the time, that is the one.
Yeah.
She'll nail it first, but then we have to work with how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And
what
are you comfortable
do you want
wearing
in your glasses?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable? Did you want something bold? Did you want something to blend? I mean, you have a fabulous personality, so we had to go a bit bold with you. And also with all your Zooming and your podcasts and things you do live, just to have a bit of wow on your face. It was so fun to help you find a frame.
Fun. That was fun. And look, going into the I'm calling it biological vision of what we need.
Yes.
And this transition, I'm going through, and I've been to 3 conferences in the last 5 days, and I look around and there's a lot of glasses in the room in our industry. All of them are centred around tourism. So I thought this is not a conversation that is going to not benefit anybody that lands here. What's happening to me?
I can probably.
First, I was waking up thinking I had conjunctivitis and my eyes just need to warm up to the day, because things are so fuzzy. So I thought, I'm getting sick, but then it's like every morning's like that. And then just started feeling the strain, and then just feeling like lettering is getting smaller, and I need to write letters to people to just say, how do you expect anyone to read this? And everyone's like, you're in denial stage. You need.
We see quite a lot of denial.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really, there's nothing deteriorate. Well, there is a little bit. That's a lie. Basically, we have muscles in our eye that allow the eye to focus from a distant object to a near object. So the muscles pull the lens, and it becomes a thinner lens, and then they release it and it becomes a thicker lens. So thicker for focusing close up, and then pulls as you go to focus in the distance. You lose a little bit of that elasticity as we age, but it doesn't sort of spontaneously happen in your mid-40s that elasticity just goes. They're super elastic when you're little. So you know how newborn babies focus here, at their mother's face. They're focusing really close, and then you see the kids are always down there colouring really close, and primary school's about here.
Yeah.
High school's about here, You're seeing a theme here.
Yeah.
30s is here, and then 40s, that super elasticity that you had as a child, which enabled you to focus here and here and here, that sort of starts to become less elastic all through your life. But suddenly when you hit your 40s, your arms aren't long enough anymore because you're holding things out here. And that's where you need to come into the optometrist, and we just give you a little bit of visual help to bring it back up to here. And if you don't do that, you can end up with just eye fatigue. Your eyes are exhausted. They've been working too hard throughout the day to try and bring it into focus, and you're better to come and get some glasses and make your life a little bit easier. There certainly is the number one myth that we hear all the time is, I don't really want to wear glasses, they're going to make my eyes worse. That's actually not true at all.
Good, some myth busting.
It's a myth buster.
Yeah,
there's 50, 60-year-long studies now. Whether you wear your glasses or not, that elasticity is going to keep deteriorating at the same rate. So you might as well get a great pair of glasses that are going to correct your vision. Your eyes won't feel so tired at the end of the day. You'll be able to function well. It just makes life so much easier.
Yes.
But glasses aren't the only option. I mean, we love eyewear, but we see a lot of contact lens patients too.
Yeah.
And there's multifocal contact lenses now, and lots of options.
That's another surprise that so many people I've been speaking to that can't wait to get my new glasses.
Yes.
They're like, I wear contacts.
Yes.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been wearing so many people that they're coming out that I've been contact, you should try them. Like, I've never done that or thought of contact solution.
Yes.
But I am excited. I don't think I'm there yet, but who knows, down the track, that could be the next part of the journey.
Especially if you're speaking in a big crowd of people and you need to read and you need to look at them. Multifocal contact lenses
another
are
level
a great
of
option.
freedom or
And a lot of technological advances in that area now. They're so much more comfortable and easy to wear, and lots more options.
Yes. In terms of how young, should I have gone to do this sooner, and would that have helped me in any way?
No.
No.
I'm at the same stage as you.
Yeah.
So when we opened this practice, I had a little minimal reading script. Everything was a little bit harder, but it can change quite quickly, and it did for me.
Yeah.
So mine's gotten stronger and stronger. But I don't think coming any earlier, it was just really a case of when it's bothering you.
Yeah.
but you should have a regular eye test,
every
like a
2
health
years.
check every 2 years. So you're coming to the optometrist when you have a visual need, like, oh, gee, I'm really struggling to see this. Yeah, absolutely. But you really should make an eye health check at minimum every 2 years. And that's if you don't have a family history of something, because there are a few nasties like glaucoma. It's asymptomatic. So that's really scary. There are some people that come in and we do a pressure check and they have absolutely no idea that they even have glaucoma. Now, if we catch things like that early, they don't become a problem. There are treatment options, great treatment options, and we can see you through that process. But if you're not having the regular check, those things don't get picked up, and then you can actually lose vision, and we can't get that back. So I
That's
think
irreversible.
it's irreversible.
Yeah.
And it could have all been avoided just with a regular health check.
Yeah.
I think it's really important when you've got young children as well before they start school.
Very important.
I mean, the maternal health nurses do a little check, and if they feel there's any problems, but I think before you start school, it's really important, because a lot of children can't tell you that they can't see well because they don't know any different.
Yeah, that's
So
normal.
it may be nothing, but it's good just before they start primary school to start their seeing the optometrist, even getting used to sitting in the big chair and, talking to the optometrist.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Very important for kids. You don't want to start school with, behind and struggling because you can't see properly, or it might even be a tracking issue that doesn't always mean it's blurry. There's different types of eye problems that we can detect early and even treat some of those so that we won't need glasses further down the track.
Yeah.
There's so many advances with children with myopia, just things that we can do to help stop that from getting worse.
Yeah, just make it a regular thing.
A regular thing. Yeah, I definitely, and just speaking of children and adults to that point, about what screen time is doing to our vision. What are studies showing?
It's absolutely horrific.
It's horrific.
There's going to be there is actually, it's already started worldwide. There is a major epidemic of myopia, which is what Penny just touched on lightly there.
Is that directly
Short-sightedness,
related?
directly related to screen use. It's really scary. So in other words, short-sighted. Myopia is short-sighted. So I am someone who is short-sighted.
Is that me too?
No.
Okay.
So short-sighted, and if you are fixating, when we're not biologically made to fixate on a short distance for the time periods that we are and for the times that children are on these devices, you need to exercise your eye. You need to be looking at different distances. We were meant to be running through the jungle, and we weren't meant to have our eyes staring at one point for long periods of time. So that can actually change the whole way that your eye functions and cause you to become short-sighted. And short-sighted means that, yes, you can see here, but you're losing your distance vision. You don't see far well. So the stats are in. Worldwide, it is the rate of myopia and short-sightedness is increasing. An epidemic. It's a pandemic. It's terrible. So that's what Penny mentioned, that there are some things that we're bringing out now, the optometry industry and the ophthalmologists, the optometrists, we're all having meetings that and doing statistics to try and educate the public that an hour a day, and they've got to go outside for 2 hours a day minimum outside. So even if it's a sport or walking the dog or just anything where you're getting out and your eye is tracking, it's moving around as it's meant to, and really limiting screen time to an hour a day with young kids, 100%. Obviously, that's going to have that screen time will increase as they get a little bit older, but still that 2 hour of outdoor time won't change. That's imperative to your eye health.
It's such a challenge, this one.
It really
is. I think for ourselves, even just how much pressure or everything is going.
Yes.
But I'm certainly, when you mentioned the fatigue, like just where I had a lot more vitality to go for longer, it's like the body has been just shutting down. And I'm like, because I've been aware now, like, and seeing the struggle.
Yes.
It's like this must have all it
all
must
ties
be
in.
interrelated of what's happening when it's like
Yeah.
I can't. It's like almost being under general anaesthetic. I'm done.
I know.
Yeah,
Like-
your brain's overworking.
Yeah.
Too much happening up
Even
there.
when you have your glasses, Despina, which we've got here
Yes,
for you,
yes,
I'm super
yes,
excited. They're going to make your screen lovely and clear, and your reading will be clear, but you still need to, every 15 minutes, look up,
Yeah.
look around
Look
the
up.
room. It's
That's the
really
exercise.
important, the 15 minutes to
Yeah.
look away from your screen, look around the room,
Yeah.
make sure that you're focusing on other things. Every
Yeah.
15 minutes is recommended.
And I hope for everyone listening, just like it has done for myself right now, there's a scientific related research to back up the claim when we're parenting and trying to engage and educate the children in our households or not, that you be part of this education,
Yes.
that it's actually this could,
I think we're going to be
evolve
hearing a
into-
lot more about it in
Yeah.
the coming years, and unfortunately there'll be a lot more children in glasses that probably wouldn't have been had they they got that 2 hours outdoor and less
Yeah.
screen time.
Yeah, incredible. Well, I've even lost track. I could talk to you for ages. But before we do the reveal, because you two are well travelled in regional Victoria, where we're coming. Well, we're not in regional Victoria, but we're definitely in Melbourne, inner suburbs.
Yes.
And nationally with your travels for work and with your families. I have a bit of an excellence round, and we can go. Before I do that, just for both you, and I'll start with you, Penny. What has been great visitor experience for you? What can you think back to in terms of what you look for in whether it's a hotel or a holiday or a destination when you travel?
A lot of the time it's my husband that comes up with, I want to come
Really?
here, I want to go. I'm just like, yeah, take me. I can't go anywhere.
Good days is a
So
keeper.
if I think back, we have travelled quite overseas quite well with our children. Like, we've done really well with them. They've travelled a bit. Probably a standout holiday for us was we went to Mexico, and then we went on a Disney cruise. And this was about, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we did that all through an independent travel agent that my husband knew really well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we could have done a trip like that without the agent.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, there's no way we could have organised. And even just booking the Disney trip back then, you couldn't do that easily online.
Yes.
You had to go through an agent, and that made a world of difference. That was probably my favourite trip that I've done. But my worst would be the COVID trip when we went to England on March the 11th.
Oh, yes.
2020,
yeah.
and we had a 5-week European holiday planned, and I've never been to Europe, or my children. And then we only stayed in England, which was amazing, beautiful, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But we only stayed 6 days. We got the email to say come back and rush back, and so
I can't imagine that feeling having.
It was-
there's that. Yeah.
and it
And
was
then by the time we come on the other side, it's another challenge to get everyone together to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was good timing for us, for our children's age.
Yes.
It was my husband's 40th. You know, we were going to be in Paris.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. You plan it for a year.
Yeah.
Down to a T.
Yeah.
And we just ended up coming home.
Yeah.
Even though we loved England and York
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
There was so much uncertainty. You just want to
Yeah,
be
we just
home
had
in a
to.
time like that. It's interesting. Just recently, I heard even from a business perspective, there's been like this almost like post-COVID complacency now. Like, we all got really innovative in business and did things differently, through the disruption. But now there's been showing that, post-COVID, that's something that's also coming through. But that is just, when you first told me that. But But health, we all
comes
we
first.
all
And when
just
you're
did it.
travelling with your children, you're not as risky. You're not going to take the risk that you might.
That is so true,
Yeah.
so true. What about you, Mel?
I look for ease of travel.
Ease, yeah.
I want it to be easy and comfortable.
Yeah.
So I look for somewhere where you can relax, and ease of travel just means that don't have to think too hard. Everything's there. And because we do work quite hard and we work long hours, so when I plan a little trip, I went up at Bendigo recently.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm going somewhere that has everything, ticks all my boxes, that you're welcomed, it's nice and easy. Good food would be another one.
Food's very important.
Ease of travel would be my number one. And my number two would be I really enjoy going out for dinner, and when I'm away, I think, you know, when you're at home and you have a family, it's, what am I cooking for dinner tonight?
Yes.
When I go away, it's such an opportunity to enjoy good food without all the work.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of my little trips, even if it's just an overnight or a Airbnb or anything like that. I'm always looking for somewhere nice that I can go out for dinner and enjoy something a little bit different that I wouldn't normally have at home.
Beautiful. And we are spoilt for that in Australia, aren't we? The local produce and good food.
Yeah. And maybe a nice experience.
Yes.
I know for Christmas I gave my eldest son and his girlfriend a voucher to go to Alba down on the Mornington Peninsula.
Nice, yes.
Haven't been myself yet.
Yeah.
And they just came back raving about what an amazing experience it was. So that's somewhere I'm going to try and head with my husband, and maybe we might make that a little bit of
beautiful.
an overnighter. But
That's definitely something in my tourism experience, just encouraging a lot of tourism operators to offer gift certificates, because we are in the world that we want opportunities to do things with our families or with each other, and giving experiences over stuff.
100%.
Yeah, which like you've done.
I much prefer that. They're older now, so the toys are, and you know, not getting the toys under the Christmas tree. I'd much rather give them a wonderful experience. So I'm looking for things like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, being a small business, you want to support other businesses. So I'm looking for other businesses that offer things that I can maybe give as a gift.
Yeah. And I saw also, I love another thing, again, this is why we just, you know, it ignited these conversation, and you walk the talk, even with your collaborations, something that I talk a lot about and had a lot of success with, but you're doing it within your local community. The mascara here that I see with the local...
It's a local ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist, I can't get that rolled off the tongue. But a local ophthalmologist, like those collaborations that you're talking about, and supporting local, but also collaborating with each other.
Women
Absolutely
supporting
love.
women.
A lot of inspirational women.
Amazing.
The last, 2.5 years.
Yes.
So many.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You being one of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
ditto,
there's so many.
Ditto. So if we start to kind of close this out, I'll start with you, Mel. What's the best advice that you've received on this journey?
The best advice that I've received on this journey: you will get out of it what you put into it.
Oh, you'll get out what you put in.
Yeah.
How about you, Penny?
Mine will always have to come back to marketing, because that's probably my biggest part of our journey. And it's probably when you said to us, make a plan. Be more structured. Monthly, and that's what we've done. And that's been important to me.
Love.
To get my head around things.
And you're
So
always
good.
learning.
Always
Always
learning.
learning.
Some habits, morning habits, daily habits. Do you have something that really helps accelerate you and get the best out of your day?
Oh,
Coffee.
Caffeination.
Find your best local barista.
A good coffee.
I just love starting the day with a good coffee.
Yeah.
And we have such a great, that's another bit of our building a community. I hate to say it, but
Yes,
our
using our
chatting
local
with our local barista
businesses,
while we go and get our morning coffee
Yes.
has resulted in all sorts of patients coming to us that listen to us, engaging with her in the morning. But I mean, I am a bit of a coffee addict, and I love to start the day with a good one. So it's a little bit of a ritual for me.
Yeah.
And
we have a coffee and a bit of a chat if we get time in the morning.
That's right.
With our optometrist, Bavini, we always have a laugh.
Yes.
That's good. It's a natural habit that's evolved, but it's an important part of the day.
Yeah, you have the coffee. We do that early because once we've had that coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's when we do it.
Yeah.
We finish, we chat.
Yeah.
We discuss things from the previous day and then we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love, love, love. Now, we've talked about some internet resources. Any books, go-to books that have changed you or had an impact on you?
Well, Outlander, that man's sexy, but it's not business related. Business related, Mel.
Business related. I'm not sure, really. Mel knows I'm not a reader.
Yeah.
So you can't put a book in front of me.
Yeah.
Visual
I will
Penny.
just...
Yeah. But content, anyone you follow, anybody that...
Do you know what? We really didn't. That is probably something we didn't do, and I don't know whether we would have done better if we had. Maybe we would have.
Yeah, maybe.
I would have to say we've probably been a bit lax in looking for things to motivate us because we were so.
We've got so many ideas happening
already,
and we've got each other to.
but we
talk
also wanted
things
to,
through.
and were committed to doing things differently.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to look
or
outside
copy off anyone else.
or for inspiration on how to put our business out there. We thought, do you know what? Let's be
Dive in
modern.
deep and-
let's do things a little bit different.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are an independent, small boutique optometry practice.
Yeah.
We're very reliant on word of mouth, but we wanted to be unique.
Yeah.
And I think to be unique, we kind of almost had to not look too much
Yeah.
at what others were doing and start to think, how can we do this differently?
Yes.
How can we do this in a way that is going to engage with people that hasn't been done before? Because like I said, it's a fairly conservative industry.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to put ourselves out there. I think probably we could maybe have done a little bit more of reading of motivational books or maybe small business. Probably might go and do that now.
I think, look, you're an active participant in your community. I think there's, from the other side of the coin, you could do all the reading that you want, but unless you kind of just get in there giving things a go that you have, it's rope learning, isn't it? Like
Yes,
you're just,
that's what it has been.
Are really, and just the energy is
Yes.
palpable between the two of you. You can see, like, I think it almost, I see partnerships like this, and there's envy that you've gone through the path alone. You know, where you've got there's a lot of benefits to finding someone to go through this because it can be lonely too. And for those that may be feeling like that.
Yes.
Like it doesn't still finding someone within your community to have those coffees, have those chats,
100%.
making the effort to go out and connect can make a big difference.
Oh, it
I've
would make
certainly
all the
found that.
difference.
Yeah.
I really think that you nailed it there. We're very aware that we're lucky to have a successful partnership because we don't have that small business loneliness.
Yeah.
We don't feel alone and we can always bounce things off each other.
Yes.
And, you know, like even in a marriage at home or like my work marriage with Penny,
Yes,
there'll be days where one might not be feeling so fantastic, but the other one usually isn't.
Yes.
So you sort of have that one of you always to pick up the other.
Yeah.
I think if you were alone, that would be difficult, but that's where definitely integrating yourself into your community and asking and seeking advice from others,
Yeah.
even if it's the barista.
Yeah.
You know, she knows everybody locally. You know? I mean, if I didn't have Penny and it was a bit quiet, I'd be saying to her, hey, look, I'm a bit quiet. What are you finding?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can get? What would make you come in and see us for an eye test or just bounce stuff off local business owners or join the group like we did?
We had a business mentor
group.
as well. When we
Yes,
first opened, we had a
brilliant.
business
Yeah,
mentor through
yeah.
the Grants Victoria.
Yeah, great.
So
We could
just taking any opportunity we can. Just
I'll make use of any opportunity, but don't expect it to come to you. Go and look for it.
Go. Yes.
Go and look for it
Yes.
because we would have loved a financial grant. I was looking every day. Is there any financial grant for small independent optometry business? No, there was no financial assistance, but that Penny just mentioned there was a mentor. You could get business mentoring, and we only just opened. So we sent off and applied for that through the local government.
Yeah.
And that was valuable because he made us think about things that with marketing and social media and putting yourselves out there. So that sort of ignited and began that process. So make use of anything that's available to you. Go to it. The White Horse Business Association we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That if you go to their catch-up Friday night drinks, you're going to be talking to fellow business owners. It might not be what you do, but there's so much you can learn from other industries and other businesses because you might think, oh, wow, I hadn't thought of that. I might give that a go.
Yeah. You never regret it. Going to it's like the gym.
Yes.
It's so like, oh, do I want to? I love myself. But then you always walk away meeting someone or learning something
glad
new.
that you went.
And glad that you went, always. All right, eyeweararchitects.com.au.
Yes,
at Eyewear Architects on the socials, on the gram and on the TikTok.
Yes.
And I'm going to smash out everywhere, like to put links and everything to connect because I tell you, the work, it's been, my journey prior was literally across the road from me.
Yes.
It was a 5-minute walk, not even a drive. And it's just been a blessing and worth the drive. So wherever, if you're in Victoria, I don't know, how could someone engage with you if they're not here, driving distance? They'd have to fly to come and... Do you do virtual?
We just sent up some glasses last week to Cairns, so we
there
have patients.
you go. Wherever you are, reach out.
Pick up the phone.
We pick up the phone. There's that's the beauty of having a business in 2024, isn't it? There's no barrier.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
No barrier.
So I thought, well, we'll save it till last. We'll end with the reveal. These poor babies. Just
well, Despina,
a whole new world.
Let's go through. Look, oh wow.
You have a wow personality.
Yeah.
So you have wow eyewear to go with your personality. A beautiful Italian-made glare frame. It's actually a one-off frame. You won't see this anywhere else. Emerald green, stunning, bold and fabulous
green.
like you.
And my term, I always say stay green and growing.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
It's meant to be.
Now, have a look at your screen, Despina.
Oh, look. Really? And even looking up and across and...
You should be able to
my
see
God,
us
you're
really
even...
well.
Like, honestly, even just looking, I know, it's like those plasmas that you've gone from a 95 plasma TV to like...
We say that.
HD,
You've gone to
HD.
HD. Yeah.
Ultra HD.
Yes.
Or whatever it is these days.
This is next level. It's like I've upgraded everything.
I know.
The laptop.
And you've got a beautiful blue light anti-reflective coating, so it's going to block out all the screen blue light for you. 100% UVA, UVB. We went for a Zeiss lens for you, but it's actually one of their occupational lenses. So you can see me nice and clearly because I'm about the distance that you'll get to in the top of that lens. Really good for screen-based work.
Yeah.
And then when you look down, you'll be able to read whatever you need.
If only yesterday. It's like, now it's going to be like a challenge. How small is it? Give it over.
I feel like I need some...
Can we just say how beautiful they look?
We've got the green.
They look amazing. Look, they make you smile. They'll bring you joy.
Oh, look, I just got a glimpse of myself. I love.
Yes.
I'm loving the feeling anyway. The look is going to be the bonus. Like the fact that I already feel, is that fatigue too?
Yes.
It's already lifted.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Yes.
It's immediate, the feeling.
It's immediate.
Yep.
That they were just feeling puffy and tired and...
That's because you got the right lens.
Got the right lens.
Yes.
I can see clearly now.
Oh, no. We've got a list out the back of eyewear songs.
I put Vision of Love. I did a real thing when I first came to do the whole process and, my real vision of love came to me.
Good.
It is a vision of love.
Yes.
All round.
Yes.
Like literally, but also just what you're doing. Stay on path. Keep inspiring. You're going to inspire many. And I couldn't recommend this journey and bring on the checkups to check in with you.
Yes.
But we'll always be connected on, on the grams while we're
100%.
following and igniting your journey. So thank you Thank you to everyone that is watching. This is brought to you by Institute of Excellence, the home of Institute of Tourism and Institute of Small Business. And what a great small business story we've just heard. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you feel we need to before we close out? Any parting words? Because I'd hate to walk out of here and say, like, I should have mentioned or should have asked.
Do you know what? Don't regret not doing it.
Don't regret not doing it. Yes.
Because regret is awful.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a passion for something and it's niggling away at you, give it a go.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Love that. What a way. What a way to end that. Give it a go. Whatever's bubbling inside you, whatever it is, give it a go. What's the worst that can happen?
Be
You're
brave.
gonna flearn.
Need to be brave.
Flearn.
Love it.
All right. Big love, everybody, and big love to both of you. Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Relax.